Hey everybody, it's Hawk here, and as you can see I am rebutting, disagreeing with, whatever, I'm responding to Shad's rogue rearmed. Now, I'm not actually debating about anything he said in there. I actually agree that the longsword should probably be a dex weapon, or you should at least have the option to. I don't see any reason with that. It's significantly more maneuverable than anybody else ever likes to admit. My primary issue is that I disagree with his fundamental description of what a rogue is. Now, he talks about somebody who uses trickery and deceit and high-speed movement in the battlefield. This is true. But that more accurately describes a ranger, how he continues off of it from there, or a dex-based fighter than it does a rogue. A rogue is, in essence, the grandchild of the thief class. You are, when you're playing a rogue, that whole bundle of abilities is designed to make you play an assassin or a thief, by and large. Now, could you play a back-alley duelist with that, where you're using lots of feinting to get around the sword and then stab somebody? Sure, and to that credit, I don't see there's any issue using the longsword. But the thing is if you actually look at the entire weapon proficiency list of the rogue, it's, barring the rapier, because that thing's rather large, it does one thing. Concealability. The short sword is easily concealable under my cloak, as you can see here. Right there. Kind of see it. My cloak hides the fact that I have it. You can't even see that I have one here for the way it sits. The same with my hand crossbow. It's because I'm supposed to be stealthy, I'm supposed to be sneaky, I'm supposed to not play fair. Combat is supposed to start with a rogue by me coming out of nowhere, ramming my short sword here into someone's kidney, hurling a knife into somebody else while the fighter's over there with his long sword properly hacking into a person. That is what the rogue is supposed to be. That is where their, I guess you could say, game lineage comes from. What Shad was more accurately describing, in my opinion, would be the swashbuckler, a dex-based fighter, or as I said, the ranger. Swashbucklers, it's its own thing. It's kind of weird, but that's what he's kind of going with, being sneaky, being deceptive, but you're still in a straight-up face-to-face fight. Rogues don't do face-to-face fights. They don't like doing face-to-face fights. It's not what you're supposed to do. It's go in there with a pair of knives, and then you start shanking people, or shoot them with your crossbow, or your bigger crossbow, or get your little short bow and attack them from the shadows. That is the rogue, in my personal opinion. Now, I don't begrudge if someone wants to have a long sword and hang it on your back or from your hip or whatever, but you're definitely not playing the thief-style archetype or the assassin of the rogue. You're now playing a sort of suave duelist type. And again, I don't have an issue with that particular thing, but that sounds less like a specific rogue and more of moving off into something else. Like I said, the rogue's generally a thief or something along those lines. As I said, everything else I don't disagree with, but frankly, I think the rogue's particular weapon loadout is generally accurate to what they are designed to do. Concealability. You're supposed to be sneaking around with weapons. You're supposed to have knives up your sleeves. You're supposed to have knives hidden away inside of your cloak. Have your hand crossbow tucked away under said cloak. Your sword there as well. And frankly, a long sword isn't terribly workable with that. It's big, it's bulky, it's going to be hanging out in the back like this all the time. It's going to be obvious. Hell, the short sword's definitely on the large side. There's a reason most of my rogues have knives, and they go up the sleeve. I don't have a knife, so I can't actually properly show that, but that is what most of the rogues do. And that's really my disagreement with Shad, is that he just kind of went on the rogue in a very different direction than what I've usually seen. And it just felt kind of strange, like he sort of missed the point. Everything else in there seems fundamentally accurate to me. I don't have an issue with that, a swashbuckler or some sort of duelist or a trick-based fighter perhaps doing it, which is what he describes. But a rogue? Rogues are thieves. Rogues are assassins. Rogues are, at best, a back-alley duelist who fights extremely unfairly. He's the guy who will sit there with a parrying dagger and a rapier, deflect once, and then kick you square in the nuts, and then stab you while you're down. That's a rogue at best. They don't do straight-up fights. at all. They're not designed for it. They never have been designed for it. And they don't want to do it. But that's my personal opinion on that one. And as always, you're welcome to disagree. Please, if you do, go in the comments below and tell me why. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why Shad's right. Tell us why we're both technically right and both wrong. Those are always fun. But as always, I'm Hawk. Peace out, everybody.